In the previous video, we looked at how to add different types of components to a custom solution. In this video, we'll look at unmanaged and managed solutions. We'll start off by looking at unmanaged solutions. So typically in any CRM organization, there'll be a minimum of 3 environments. One is for the development, one is for the QA, that is testing, and third one is going to be the production version. And in many cases, there's also a fourth environment where it is the user acceptance testing, or it's called the UAT environment. Okay. Generally, what happens is the stakeholders give a requirement, and the developers work on it in the development environment, and they migrate the changes from one environment to the other, and solutions is used to do that. Okay, so now let's assume that this environment, that is this one, Nikhil 7120, is our development environment, and let's assume that this environment, that is RamCorp, is our QA environment. Okay, so we've made our changes in the development environment, and we need to move it to the QA environment for testing. Okay, to do that, we need to first export the solution. So to do that, just select the solution and click on export. There will be multiple options which will be presented to you, and I will walk you all through each one of them. The first one is if you want to publish the customizations. Now in the previous video, I already published it before saving and closing it, so I don't need to do it again. So I'm just going to click on next. Generally it is used, publish all customizations is generally used when you have web resources. When you've created new web resources, it is important to publish the customizations for the change to be applied. Okay. Not required that you need to publish the change every time you create a new environment, but it's generally considered good practice to publish your changes, that is publish all customizations every time you create a solution. Okay, so click on next. So the next one is export system settings. Now this organization, that is Nikhil 7120, has a set of system settings. Now if you want to export that system settings from one environment to the other, then you can do it if you want to. Like if you want to export the general system settings, that is the general tab of system settings, then just select that and click on next. Similarly, sales, relationship roles, marketing, etc. It is not recommended to export the system settings. It is recommended to just make, if you want to make any changes to the system settings in the target organization, which in this case is this organization, it is recommended to just make the change directly in this environment by just going to settings, advanced settings, and then clicking on settings, and then administration, and then changing the settings from here by clicking on system settings and just changing it over here. Okay, alright, and then just click on next. Okay, so this one is the final option which you need to select before exporting the solution. You have the option to export the solution as unmanaged or managed. Okay, so these are the two types of solution, unmanaged and managed. Let's take a look at unmanaged first. So all solutions must begin as unmanaged solutions so that the customers have direct control over their intellectual property and customizations. Okay, so when you import an unmanaged solution, you add all the components of that solution into the default solution. You can't delete the components by uninstalling the solution. Okay. In this example, Our solution contained an entity. Okay, the entity is sports. This entity sports is being included in the solution. Okay, so now if I go ahead and import it to this organization, Ramcorp, okay, then after that, if I go ahead and delete that solution, the sports entity will not be deleted from this organization. Only the solution reference will be removed. So when you import an unmanaged solution, then whatever components is there in that particular solution, those components customizations will be overwritten by the customizations of the unmanaged solution. For example, now let's say that I want to add a field in the account entity. Okay, so I'm just going to add the entity first. Okay, so let's say that I'm adding the account rating code. Okay, now in this field, let's say that I want to add one more option to this option set field. Okay, right now it has only default value, so I'm just going to add one more item. Okay, test option set value, and then I'm just going to save and close this. So what will happen is, in the other environment, that is in Ramcorp, in this environment, for that field, that is the account rating code, that option set value which I just added will be added. That is, it will override the customizations which is being made, which is already there in this organization for this field. Okay. Unmanaged solutions are also easier to maintain for customers who are responsible for their own deployment. Now let's say that in the organizations which I'm importing and exporting to, both are being handled by AHA apps, then it is better to just use unmanaged solutions because it is easier. Okay, and when compared to managed solutions, merging is a lot more simpler. Okay, and finally, unmanaged solutions can be exported as managed, but the vice versa cannot be performed. Now, if you want to roll back the changes of an unmanaged solution, then what we need to do is we need to manually delete the components from either the solution itself or the default solution. Okay, we can also restore the last backup of the CRM. Like if you have a backup solution which is there, then we need to import that backup for it to be rolled back. Okay, so a lot of manual effort is involved in terms of rollback if you want to roll it back. Okay, deciding to whether go for unmanaged or managed also depends upon where the solution is being delivered. Now, if you are going to be delivering the solution to an external organization, then it is generally recommended not to use unmanaged. We need to use managed for that. It also ensures that the business customizations or data are always part of the default solutions, unmanaged solutions that is. Unmanaged solutions also ensures that the business customizations and data are always part of the default solution. In the next video, we'll look at managed solutions.